In this video, I'm going to go over a little real estate market update in the month of August for Orange County. So let's begin. So in Orange County, we're actually seeing, so inventory has gone up 48% compared to this time last year. So we have a little over 5,000 homes, 5,071 homes on the market in Orange County right now. These are active listings for sale. So inventory has gone up. Interest rates are down a little bit. So we were a couple months ago, 2 months ago, we were at around 7%. Today, we are right around 6.5% for the average buyer out there that they can get that rate. So interest rates have gone down just a little bit. And we hope that they continue going down. So it feels as you're driving around the neighborhood, you see a lot more for sale signs. You see more homes on the market than probably you've seen in a number of years, especially over the last 2 years when we've had such tight inventory. So homes are on the market a little bit more. Demand has gone down a little bit. So buyers have just a little bit have gone away compared to this time last year. But when you pair that with 50% more inventory, it really feels like we're in a recession. And a lot of buyers, I work with a lot of buyers, most buyers feel like this market is similar to 2008. And a lot of homes on the market, they're not selling overnight. They don't have 10 offers like they're used to. And so therefore the market's crashing is kind of what I'm seeing out there. Now, the market is definitely different. I would say that. I mean, it is completely different than a year ago or even 2 years ago, having so many more options. And homes taking longer to sell. Like right now, the expected days on market in Orange County, and again, this is on average, is 95 days. That is, I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen the average be 95 days, close to 100 days. In Orange County. I mean, that's pretty fascinating to see. So it feels polar opposite than what consumers are seeing. But I would say, we aren't necessarily seeing, 10-20% price decrease. That's the difference between, I think, 2008 and right now is we're seeing a little bit of stabilization, cooling off, demand not increasing with the level of inventory. So it really does feel like there's a shift happening. And so I wanted to say a couple things to sellers. So if you're a seller out there, first of all, there's more of you than a year ago. So to consider that. Now, even though inventory in Orange County is 5,000 homes on the market, in a normal market, going back like 10 years ago, in a normal market, we should have about 7,000 homes on the market. You probably heard me say this 100 times. So we're still lower than the normal, but we are still 50% higher than this time last year. So that is something to consider. So I think inventory could continue rising a little bit more, but inventory is rising. Homes are taking 3 to 4 times longer to sell, 100 days. I mean, sometimes it's 200 days to sell a home. And I think that there's a couple things to consider if you're a seller in Orange County right now. So number one is price. Number one is price. I mean, the price is so important right now when the consumer has 3 or 4 or 5 options in the neighborhood to choose from. Price is very, very important because that's the first thing the consumer looks at when they are looking at homes. What do they sort by? The price. And then it's the bedroom, bathroom, all the other things on top of that. So price is the first thing to consider. If your neighbor sold 2 or 3 months ago for 1.5, you're not going to be able to list it at 1.55 or 1.575. You will just not sell that home. So if the last one sold at 1.5, then you need to be a little bit, this is what I'm working with my sellers on today, is that we actually need to be a little bit below that. And I know that that's a little bit unconventional over the last couple of years. So price is very key. You need to be very, very diligent and strategic with how you price. The second thing is Now more than ever since 2008. So from then, since we recovered in 2012 and 13 till now, you need to spend the most amount of attention and care over the condition and how you present the home. What I mean by that is, if you were going to sell your car, you're going to wash it, wax it, make sure it smells good. You're going to put some effort into making sure the home or the car is very presentable. Now, with likely the largest asset that you own, your home, likely, you need to have 100 times more care and attention and just effort into your home. Now, I don't think that necessarily means remodeling the whole house. No, give it a refresher. It needs to be presented way better than if you were to have a big Christmas party and it was, 100 people that you really admire and respect. It needs to be way more presentable than that. And so you're gonna have to clean it. You might have to do some touch-up paint. I would spend a lot of attention on the curb appeal as the consumer drives up and as they experience from parking to walking up through your home and into the front door and the entryway. It all needs to be very cohesive, very clean, very presentable. It needs to look like the homeowner cared for that home as much as possible. That is the goal that we're striving for. So you need to do a couple things. Again, it does not need to be expensive. Paint and doing a little bit of landscaping. You could even do that yourself if you really needed to. That goes such a long way. And then again, it needs to smell clean and good. If there is a odor in the house, it throws off the consumer a little bit. So odor's gone, it looks clean, it looks so presentable, it looks like a very clean and lovely home. Again, that's the goal that we're striving for. The last thing that I would, again, just like three little suggestions I have for sellers in today's market is offer an incentive to the buyer. And I would market this up front that we're willing to, depending on the price range, 10 grand credit to the buyer at closing to help buy down the interest rate. The consumer has 4 more, they likely in your same neighborhood, there's probably 2, 3, or 4 other homes for sale. So with more competition and more options for the consumer, we want to give them all the reasons to pick your home than everybody else. And sometimes, if it's on the market for 1.5, offering a $5,000 credit towards the buyer's closing cost, that is pennies in the bucket compared to you'll probably be able to sell it at a higher price, sell it quicker, and you might get 1 or 2 offers on that home. So if you do all those 3, I likely think you're not going to experience a 95-day expectation on the market. It's going to be a little bit quicker. And those are the homes that are selling quicker. They're priced really well, they show really good, they offer an incentive, and they're staying on the market just a couple weeks, a month maybe, if you price it well. The second thing is, so if you're a buyer today, you're feeling good, not too good. I see sometimes buyers, they think it's 2008 and they see the 1.5 and they offer $1 million. We're not in that market today yet, or today. We're not there right now. And so, we're not getting the super deals that we all want, but we are seeing that you're going to have several options to choose from. You're finally, over the last 10 years, you're finally going to be able to pick a house that you want, and you don't have to make a decision in 6 hours, after seeing the home. You're going to have a little bit more time. There's going to be more homes and more options to choose from, and they're not going to fly off the market overnight, generally. Again, there are some homes that are flying off the market, but in general, they're staying on the market a little bit longer, and you're going to have options, which is a great thing to have being a buyer in Orange County, because I've had so many buyers just not have that flexibility or those options. So you can rest assured that you're there. And lastly, about buyers, you're going to get a decent price. You'll get a decent terms and maybe a little bit of a credit like we just talked about. But most importantly, you're going to have more options and less competition. That's just, it's going to be it's going to be a way better buying experience to be able to identify a property probably within 30 days of looking, and you like one, and then if you want to buy it, you can. I mean, I've again had over 10 years of a market where buyers, we've just been praying to get any offer accepted. So you're able to have that. I also had, lastly on buyers, I've had several buyers where they've wanted to kind of wait and see because, again, inventory's up 50%. Homes aren't flying off the market. It feels weird. We're not used to this in Orange County in Southern California. And so with that, I would say if you are considering buying, right now is a good option because for all the reasons I just said, there's more inventory, you have more options, you can take your time, you're gonna have a way better buying experience. And I truly think you're gonna be way more happy with the overall experience there. Lastly, what do I think is going to happen the rest of the year? Well, I'll make a quick little prediction or just my my 2 cents. I think that if rates continue to stay right where they have been the last 3 years, because we've really been 3 years of around 7% interest rates. If we stay here, we're going to see more of the same, and it might get a little bit worse. We might see more inventory. Maybe we get to 6,000 or 7,000 homes on the market. And then the expected days on market rises to 115, 120 days if rates don't go down. Now, if rates do come down significantly this year, or a percentage, that would actually be pretty significant. If rates go down another percent than they are today, then I think we're going to see a market like we saw in 2021, but maybe even more severe and more aggressive, because I've had buyers be on the sideline and waiting since COVID, really. And so they got frustrated with COVID because they couldn't get offer accepted. And then when the market kind of cooled down with rates going up, then it was too expensive because the rates were too high. So I truly believe the market has a lot of pent up demand. And I think if rates do come down a percentage, then we could see a pretty big uproar there, and then it's going to be another crazy market with inflation and all of that. These are my thoughts in real estate market in Orange County in August. If you have any thoughts on this or disagree with what I'm saying, leave a comment below, and we'll see you in the next video.